You're supposed to work in teams. We want to reflect. It says work independently, but let's just assume that you are working with your group. Determine if each relationship is a function of right justification. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you guys a minute to think, share, and pair, and then we'll come back together and we are going to get the solution. So, timer's on now. Begin this process. Think, pair, and share. If you're viewing this video at home, you're actually going to pause right now and try to actually do this activity on your own. Okay? Be back in a short minute. Okay, students, welcome back. Okay, so my hope is that from looking at the work, that you were able to at least get things kind of sorted into categories. Here we're viewing a graph. We're seeing a table, graph. We have some coordinates. We have another graph, and we have another graph. And if my guess is correct, you probably had no problem associating this graph, and that graph together. But you may not have been so obvious that your set of coordinates kind of correspond with your XY table, and that the first coordinate is always X, the second coordinate is always Y. So let's take a look at the solutions here. Okay, so the one thing that I hope you have noticed is that we every time we have a graph, we use this really cool test called the vertical line test. And right now what you guys see is my vertical line. And as I take this vertical line, the goal is to move it from left to right. And what you're looking for is if there's any point on that equation that touches the line more than once. Because as long as it doesn't touch the line, we can say this in fact is a function. So A passes the test. Let's try C. C, notice that the green line is only being touched once. C in fact passes the test as well. Shift down to E. Alright, hits once, one time, hits one time, hits one time, also hits one time. E passes the vertical line test. But wait, here we go. F, here we are. Ooh, F is violating the vertical line test. So we know without a shadow of a doubt that F does not pass that vertical line test. So I want you to take a moment and write this in your notes. Did you notice that A, C, E, and F, all graphs must be able to pass the vertical line test in order to qualify as functions? Take a moment and write that down. All right, let's clear this out. All right, what remains? Well, we again looked at B and D, and we can associate them as XY tables. All right, and the goal here, when we look at our X values cannot repeat. When X values repeat, we know that X value is being paired up with more than one Y value. And remember, the idea is this: you can only have one birthday, but many people can share the same birthday. So what makes a function is that there's only one input for every output. So let's take a look. You have a 4, 0, 2, 1, 4. Oh, that doesn't work. The number 4 is repeated. So that would not be considered a function. Let's look at D now. 5, 4, 7, 6, -5. No repeaters. So D would actually be considered a function. So let's get some text written down. Notice for B and D, all tables and charts must not have any repeating X values in order to qualify as functions. All right, so here we are. D, function. B, not a function. All right, summary. So, in noticing the table, the graphs for A, C, and E, we were able to determine that graphs A, C, E all are passed the vertical line test, and therefore was functions, but unfortunately F did not pass the vertical line test, and we had to eliminate that as a function. All right, please be mindful that this material is expected to be reviewed every week before our weekly quiz.